Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian wine people.
This is the Italian Wine Podcast with me, Monty, Waldin. With me today is Marilisa Allegrini, whose family winery is in Valpolicella in northeast Italy. Welcome, Marilisa. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Just tell us a little bit about your family history.
My family has been living and making wine in Valpolicella for many, many years. And in fact, I am the sixth generation in the wine business. And let's say that it was my father who in the 50s expanded the winery by buying new vineyard, increasing production and focusing on the concept of the single vineyard. Since then, the company has grown. My brother Franco took over in the vinification process when my father passed away, and it was a big challenge for us, for the entire family, to carry on what my father did, trying to be as successful as he was. But I think that we could count on the best location of the Valpolicella area, and so we succeed.
So your father was very interesting. You talked about when he was buying vineyards, he didn't select his vineyards randomly. He deliberately chose the best sites on hill slopes. Why was that important?
He selected the vineyard up on the hillside because he strongly believed in the quality of Corvina cultivated up on the hillside rather than in the alluvial plain. And this was the first lesson that we learned from him.
And Corvina, what's that, please?
Corvina is the most important grape variety in Valpolicella, is our native grape variety, and Corvina is for Verona what Nebbiolo is for Piedmont and what Sangiovese is for Tuscany. So Corvina cultivated up on the hillside give you much better aromas and more concentration than when it is cultivated.
So what sort of flavours are we talking about in the Corvina then?
Corvina has two characteristics. One is aromas of cherries, very fruity, and sometimes fresh, like in the Valpolicella, sometimes very intense, like in the Amarone. And the second characteristic is that Corvina has very soft finish, so soft tannins. This is the most important characteristic of this grape variety.
And do you make 100% Corvina?
We make, yes, sir. We started in 1983 with La Polla, which is our iconic wine and is the most important wine that we produce. And La Polla is another single vineyard, and this vineyard, which has the best location, is planted only with Corvina grape variety.
So when you launched this single varietal, single vineyard Corvina wine, did your neighbours think, hang on, the Allegrini family is doing something completely crazy? Nobody's ever done that before?
Yeah, we launched the La Polla in 1983, and at the beginning people really thought that from the best vineyard we could make Amarone and not a table wine. At that time, La Polla was a table wine. So, but we focus on this concept: single grape variety and single vineyard.
Okay, so obviously two of the famous stars in the Valpolicella region is Recioto and Amarone, and they involve dried grapes, yeah?
Yes, they are both made from dried grapes, and this is a technique that is historical for the Valpolicella. But also in the drying process, we did a lot of innovation, because in 1998 we built this facility that was the creation of my brother Franco, together with a professor in enology. His name was Roberto Ferrarini. And we built this facility to be able to control the process, so not to have risk of mold or botrytis during the drying stage. And this was another big improvement for the company, because we were able to make the style of Amarone that we really like, so with the concentration but no oxidation.
Okay, so what's the difference between drying the grapes, picking them as grapes, normal grapes, and then laying them on in an area where they can concentrate and shrivel a little bit? Yeah. What's the advantage of doing that in a controlled environment as opposed to a sort of natural environment? What's the advantage for you as a producer and for the consumer who's going to drink the wine? You know,
we don't control in a sophisticated or a technical way the drying process. The only thing that we do is to have low humidity and to have good ventilation. And so by doing this, the grapes can manage the first stage of the drying process in being healthy, and so not to have botrytis.
And what's the resulting wine like? Why is it different from, say, a normal red wine?
Allegrini Amarone is a type of wine that have concentration, balance in terms of alcohol content and residual sugar. And the characteristic is that we prevent any kind and any touch of oxidation. And I think that our Amarone has become a kind of benchmark in this style.
Well, in fact, Amarone has become a real a cult wine almost, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And the traditional style of Amarone was drank by a small percentage of high-end consumer. This is a kind of Amarone that can match with food and can match with a wide range of dishes, including Italian, but Asian, etc. And so this is what changed completely the market for Amarone.
Okay, your family has also invested in Tuscany, in two of the most famous regions in Tuscany, Brunello of Montalcino fame, and also the Tuscan coast, Bolgheri.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
You know, sometimes you want to go out for your comfort zone. And so you want to challenge, and you know that we like the challenge. But what really inspired us was to deal with other wine producing area. And we choose Bolgheri first because Bolgheri was kind of different thing from Valpolicella. It's a new area. It's not as old as the Amarone. And also in Bolgheri, you have what are called international grape variety. So we like to deal with a very historical indigenous grape variety like Corvina in one side and with the international grape variety in another one. And we fell in love at first sight because Bolgheri is so beautiful, and we invested heavily.
What I found interesting about your work in Bolgheri was you really believed in the Cabernet Franc grape, which I love, Cabernet Franc grape. Why did you do that? Why did you see its potential before many other people did?
I was impressed by the first vintage because I think that Cabernet Franc is a grape variety that if you cultivate at the wrong latitude, you don't have quality. If you cultivate Cabernet Franc where you can achieve the phenolic maturation, you have spiciness, you have concentration, you have very exciting and very good flavor. So from the first vintage, I realized that with the Cabernet Franc cultivated at 43 degrees latitude was possible to achieve this maturation.
So what flavors does a ripe Cabernet Franc grapes give to your Bolgheri red wines?
It has this the spiciness.
Licorice? Do you find licorice, things like that in there? Liquirizia?
Liquirizia, yes, liquirizia, very good.
Okay.
And also sage, the Mediterranean herbs that give the complexity, very interesting complexity to the wine.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Brunello di Montalcino. Why did you want to get involved in Brunello?
You know, Brunello, we purchased this company that was already established. So in Bolgheri we started from scratch. And in Montalcino the company was already there.
And the name?
San Polo. And I decided to buy this property because of the location. Montalcino is one of the largest commune in Italy, is more or less 300 square kilometers. So it's very large. You have different soil, different exposure, different climatic condition. San Polo, in my opinion, is on top of the hill and is facing east and south. So it's a fantastic location for the Sangiovese. And then Sangiovese was a grape variety that I always love, and I think that Sangiovese in some way has some similarity with the rigorous, what I call rigorous grape variety like Nebbiolo, and it is completely the opposite of Amarone. So I like this kind of different situation.
They're sort of savoury wines as well, aren't they?
Yes,
The best
yes.
brand. You know, you do. Your vineyard in Montalcino has a fantastic view.
Yes,
I have to say,
yeah,
it's a beautiful site.
Yeah, it's a very nice location, very good soil, very good ventilation, so we can do the organic protocol. And in fact, this year, San Polo will be organically certified because we started 5 years ago.
Do you think you can extend that to your other estates as well, the organic management?
I don't know if my daughter will do something like this, but I think that I am okay.
And your daughter's name? Your daughter's name?
Carlotta, I have two. Carlotta and Caterina. And I don't want to invest in another company because I like to take care of everything. So I like to visit the vineyard, I like to go in the cellar to taste the wines, and the day is 24 hours, so we cannot extend to 36 hours.
Final question about women involved in the drinks business, the wine industry. Are you worried about the future of your two daughters in the wine industry, or do you think it's becoming less of a sexist environment?
Yeah, I'm sure. I see a very bright future for women in the wine business. And I must say that when I started, I was one of the very first women.
Was it hard for you then?
I don't know. I was always respect. It was hard when I was 17, 18 years old, but my father didn't make any difference in gender, so I didn't feel any difference between myself and my brother.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming in today. I wish you every success with all of your projects and hope to see you in Bolgheri or Montalcino or even in Valpolicella, one of those beautiful hill slopes that you've got.
Thank you very much. And also the people that listen to this, they are very welcome to come.
Both of them. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Follow us at Italian Wine Podcast on Facebook.